startups ask any questions and our team at Spark10 will answer them.
Hello everybody, my name is Atal Malviya and you are watching AskSpark10 episode 3. Today we have Taavi Raidma with us who is going to answer the questions from you guys. Taavi is the partner in one of the leading Estonian marketing agency and a successful entrepreneur. In this episode we are going to cover minimum viable product, what mistakes startups do and how to form or if you have to form exit strategy.
I want to scale up my startup by implementing apparel and accessories designs for international designers and offer them drop shipping facilities. I want to know the possibility of getting angel investment for this revenue model.
I think whatever interesting idea you have, there's probably an investor out there who has the experience and the skill sets to help. So as long as your idea is scalable enough, it's big enough, you have a solid business plan, there probably is a match for you. So important to go out and look for the right person.
Yeah, I think there's another one thing which is doesn't matter what business you're doing, right? You need to see what is the core competency of your businesses, because your investors are going to invest in that particular component which actually is going to drive the business through the scalability and returning a lot of money to investor after he has invested. So that is important. So in case you're seeing drop shipment of items or anything else, is this your team which is going to attract investment from the angel investor? Now this is important because angel investment is little different from the VC investment. So early stage investment is going to mostly come on who you are as a team, what you are as a company and why you are doing what you are doing. So I still see you mentioned about the dropshipping model, which is okay, but in my view, business should be strong enough, but for the angel investment stage, team is actually going to play a lot for that. So if you have a strong team, complementary skills, angel investors are going to put money on this. You need to find a person who can see value in businesses.
Absolutely.
What are the best ways to market an app with less or no marketing budget without using social networks like Facebook and Twitter?
I think firstly it matters whether you're going after the B2C or B2B market, so that determines what channels you can use. If you're going for B2C, you should use social networks. It's free, you have your whole customer base there.
Yeah, if it is B2B and then you're talking about market your app, it totally depends where your customer is. See, basics of the marketing starts from who your customer is, right? Customer persona. If you feel your item which you are going to sell and for that item the value you are going to deliver is going to be received by a customer who is not on Facebook or Twitter, then there is no point of doing something on Facebook or Twitter. See, budget is the second stage. First of all, you need to identify how to reach out to the customer. If it is B2B, for example, and you are actually finding a lot of people who are fitting your customer segment criteria and you can reach out to them on LinkedIn by just sending in emails or something, you do that. And no, I get the point that the guy mentioned that there is no budget, but I would say when Twitter is free, when Facebook is free, then use it, don't just discard those channels.
Yeah. And also if you, depending again what your app is, make it easy for people to pull in their friends, make it easy to share information about that. Make your users market your
There's another interesting angle here is there's a reason why we say growth hacking is actually can be very important for early stage startups, because you may go out and do something which is actually going to give early traction, and everyone knows the story of Airbnb. They have started to scrap through the Craigslist, and from there they have started to reach out to potential the people who are actually going to share their rooms, etc. So you need not to think in terms of marketing means you have to put money. You need to think in terms of how you can do something different, something creative. Reach out to people who actually see that there is a value in that particular item or service or whatever. So I would say if you want to start it, just look for your customers. If you don't have a budget, that's okay, because it happens with most of the startups. You will eventually get there. If you find few customers who start to pay, then possibly you can use that money to get the paid channels as well.
How to structure the exit strategy?
So exit strategy, interesting thing. I would say build a startup which can make money, deliver value. Don't build a startup from day one which is thinking about exit. Because exit strategy is down the line 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Who knows what is going to happen? You're going to go for IPO, you are going to go sell your share, you are actually selling out the company altogether, somebody will come and acquire you. Anything can happen in future. Having a strategic move is important, but for a startup in early stage, exit strategy, I don't kind of think that is the most priority point you should work on. What do you think?
Absolutely agree. I think there sometimes investors focus too much on trying to understand where they could exit, but I mean that's not keys to build value. And if you build value, if you build a successful, scalable business, if you bring in money, I mean, there will be people be willing to buy the company. So that's not really an issue if you deliver on what the company is about.
Yes. So value is one thing, scalability is another thing. So we need to always focus on these things rather than focusing on how we are going to exit. Because eventually, if you have taken investors' money, investor would like to see that invested money to be multiplied by X times. And you may for that need to go for IPO in open market or probably sell it out. That will eventually happen, but I would say focus on creating the value than anything else. So that is what my experience.
What are the key important points startup companies should keep in mind always?
I think any startup should focus on what value they provide. So figure out the pain you're solving in the marketplace and what is your solution to that. So from that on, you need to make sure that the market is big enough, that you have enough customers in the marketplace, and figure out exactly who is the customer you're delivering the value for.
Yeah, so to summarize Taavi's point, is there any real pain in the market for which if it is being solved, customer will pay real money? Pain in the market. Is your solution fit for that pain? Do we have enough people with that pain? I.e., is market big enough? If you are building a business which you think of capturing some investment in future, do you think that investor will be actually excited about seeing the size of the market? Is your solution the only solution, or you have some differentiation in your solution which can be the DNA of the company if you want to be there in the marketplace? Is your team the right team? Is this the team which can execute it?
I think that's one of the most important points, because even if you start with one idea, ideas change. Your market might change, your customer might change. The team is the one that should be in the center, and team is with what you can actually make it happen.
Yes. So there are many examples in the past where a good team has actually turned around the business from total red to total green, and there may be many examples where bad team has actually kind of caused a profit-making organization come to zero and probably closer. So team is important. So just rephrasing, there should be a pain point, there should be a solution. Solution should be reaching out to as many as people possible. So market size should be good. Company is having a good team, and on the top of everything, if it is investable, why it is investable? So you need to work on that DNA, the differentiating factor for that.
As an entrepreneur, how does one face the dilemma of taking a rational decision versus going with an intuitive decision in a dynamic startup environment?
Cool. So good question. Now, the question you have to answer is, are you lazy enough to sit in the corner and make a decision and call it your intuition? Or you are visionary enough like Steve Jobs and say, this is what my intuition is. But you need to decide who you are. Many entrepreneurs say that we feel this should work. Now, I'm also kind of having a lot of background on data analytics and all. I say every decision should be backed up with data. Wherever possible. 99.9% if you can, right? There's nothing like intuition says you are going to make 5 million. Dude, you are not going to make 5 million if your intuition says, because you would have already made it by then. So if you are not lazy enough, go out in the market, do research, take that data and make a decision. That's my stake. I don't know what you think.
I fully agree. And if there's no data that you can use, then go and find data.
Yeah.
I mean, about anything, about customers, product, marketing. These days you can find the data somewhere. I mean,
definitely, yes. You will either have a primary data which you are capturing yourself, you will have secondary data which somebody else has done for you, you may have proxy measures where you can see the correlation between the data, but you go do the market research, find the real data, and then only try to make a decision. Don't go by intuition as much as possible, I would say.
How does one take a rational call on what is the right number of features for a minimum viable product?
Very good question. And it's very tough because when people build businesses and products, there's also always tendency to add things, not to go down. So I think the key is to list the full list of features and then start taking different elements away and see at what point you lose the core value. So, and keep that part. So keep the core value that delivers what you're trying to solve for the customer, and that should be your MVP.
Absolutely. So MVP, minimum viable product. The minimum viable product. There is a reason why it's called minimum viable product. Your solution should be viable enough to solve the problem, but it should be minimum. So after that, if you have added one more feature, that is just an extra one. So as Taavi suggested, you list down all the features and keep removing all of them, and then whatever the bare minimum possible, that is what you're going to do. Other way of doing the same thing is, you are going to be making money in the market if you are doing something faster, better or cheaper. These are the things. So if you think that I'm going to keep on working on features and then you are removing the features, is that is having an impact on my value being faster, better or cheaper? If you feel that removing of one feature is not having any impact on that thing, it is still solving the same problem in probably the best way, maybe faster, better or cheaper, then that feature was not needed. So it should not be an MVP. So, do reverse engineering. Whatever feature you think about should be added in the solution, add them and start removing them. Stop on the point where you feel that value is compromised, and that is what it is.
We hear a lot about simplification of the product. How do we know we are not oversimplifying it?
I think one of the key mistakes often is that startups don't have the proper team to build the business they're planning to build. So if you look at the people, they're lacking very obvious competencies. So great engineering team, no business people. All business people, nobody to build a business, you need to bring people outside. In the very early stage, you need to have the competencies at the founder level so you can really quickly iterate, quickly build, quickly bring it to the market.
Yes. And apart from that, self-awareness. So you go face the mirror, answer yourself, is this the big enough market? Do you really think this is a cause for which you will get up in the morning, come to the office and work 24/7? Is this something which is really solving a problem which is actually worthwhile solving? So self-awareness is very important. If you feel that your team is actually not good enough for sales, I've seen many times in startup founders, they feel that they are actually unnecessarily, they're trying to push and sell and exploiting the leads, and probably they will actually realize in the early stages they don't have a sales guy. So self-awareness is very, very important, and bring the people. Don't be greedy, right? If the people are coming and adding value in your team, they will ask for equity, they will ask for money. You need to make your work around how you're going to accommodate them. You can't hold everything with you, not asking people to come and join the team, and then.
And I think there's one point about scalability as well. So there's two sides to scalability.
Yep.
Firstly, you need to have a scalable business model, scalable platform, but at the same time, if you're just getting started and testing ideas, don't start building a massive, scalable, global platform.
Yeah.
Because you can start doing things with unscalably. You
Yes.
can test markets, you can do it by hand, and then once you figure out what is exactly your product, who's your customer, then build for the scalability.
I think something related to what we had just answered in the previous question. Assumptions don't make. Go to the customer, ask what they are looking for. If they are looking for something, solve that problem. And again, if somebody is looking for some extra feature, ask for money for that feature. And then he will say, okay, I don't need it. Right? So go out there, talk to customer, don't make assumptions yourself. You go talk to customer. That is something which is one of the common mistakes a lot of tech founders do, because techies love coding. So they found the corner of a house and they start to code, right? Without getting to know anything about how the customer is going to behave and this product will be in front of them. So no assumption, self-awareness, scalability team, and probably give your best. That is what we do for making a startup successful.
What are the common mistakes startups make?
One of the first and key mistakes a startup do, in my opinion, is not hiring the right team. They do hire for the skills, not for the attitude. I would say, hire for somebody who can actually be equally excited as you as a founder will be. If there is any skill set needed, the new excited guy can learn it. So you just look for the people who have the attitude to be with you in all ups and downs. So team which will stick together and deliver the value which you are actually kind of assuming to deliver in the future. What's next?
Startups don't market validate their products, their customers properly, so they do everything based on hunch, assumption based, and when you ask for help and advice, especially in case of startups that are doing something very new and very novel, when you ask for advice, opinions, you get a million different opinions.
Yeah.
So it's important to be able to filter what's important, what is not, and not blind follow everything, because then you end up with a monster that nobody wants.
Yeah, and that's very valid thing. Learn to say no, because when you say no, or probably when you say what advice not to follow, is something when you also learn what to follow. Now that is related to my next point, which startups do quite a lot. They say yes to any investment, any money coming in, they say yes. Possibly, founders should learn to say no to an investor who may just put money on the table but will not add any value. You are going to be in long-term relationship with your investor. He should appreciate the value you are creating and delivering. He should actually understand your product, your market, and why you are in the game and why he should be in the game. So I would say another mistake is again coming to the same thing, saying yes to everything, saying yes to every money is a big mistake with investors.
I mean, just a good point. The goal of a startup is not to fundraise, not to raise investment, which in many cases seems to be the core focus. The main focus should be building the product and the money will come.
Absolutely. So,
my next point, measuring. Startups don't focus on metrics and KPIs early enough, so do it the right way. Pick 5 to 7 KPIs, start tracking them from the beginning. You have data, you know what's going on. And it's much easier to present your company to investors as well.
Yeah. And that way you will have a lot of data to impress a prospective investor and can come and put money on. Now, if you're measuring everything, then you would also have another view which a lot of the startups actually miss. They diversify too fast. They just launch a feature, didn't work, I will do something more. I will go for B2B because B2C is not working. Focus on one thing, try to deliver everything possible for that one thing. And if you will be focusing on one small tiny bit, which is going to make a mark in the market, that is very important. One of my mentors said once, like, ridiculously focus on one feature, but try to deliver better or best in the market, nobody else can match it, and then start to add value on the top of it. So that is another thing which a lot of companies do. They do diversify in a lot of areas without having to establish themselves in one focus, one vertical, one value. That would be my last point.
AskSpark10 is here to help. Entrepreneurs can ask any questions they may have. We are here to help and answer any questions. So use AskSpark10 as a hashtag. Send us an email at askspark10@spark10.com or tweet us or just send a message on Facebook. You reach out to us with your questions and we will answer them. Thank you very much.
Startups ask any questions and our team at Spark 10 will answer them.